Habs lose against the Detroit Red Wings 4-2 in Detroit. Very important game for the Habs to try to get the points. We are in a severe battle with Detroit for every single point that we can get, and giving them two while not taking any might come to bite us later on in the season. It's the third of 4 total meetings during the season. We won the first 2. Those were the back-to-backs we had against them. I think we went to Detroit and won, and then the next day we were back in Montreal and won that one, which coincidentally sent them on a sent Detroit on a downward spiral that ended up with having their coach fired, and now with their new coach, they're being a little bit of a heater. Although they had lost the last 4 games, I think, maybe in OT or something, but they still were on a little bit of a losing streak there, which obviously they snapped with their win yesterday against the Habs. I came to this game with a few expectations, so I was looking forward to 3 main things. I wanted to see an improvement on the defensive side. With this game against the Leafs on the second and third period, the game against New York on Sunday, then Tampa on Tuesday, we have been seeing a trend of allowing a lot of very high scoring chances that had not been there before for most of December and the beginning of January, when the Habs were playing really, really well. Like against Florida and Tampa, like that road trip, we were playing very well, solid defense. And lately, we have been allowing a lot more scoring chances. We used to keep them to the outside. Now they're getting inside. They're getting lost in the slot. And so I wanted to see this game if we had done any improvements there. The second thing I was paying attention to was the battle between Slav and Seider. Since we played back-to-back, they created a lot of bad blood between them. Probably just in the game, you know how hockey players just like hate each other in the game. After the game, they're buddies, you know. They all share that love for the game, so it's always nice to see. But they hated each other during the games, so I was wondering how that was gonna play out during the game, see if they were gonna still battle. And the third thing that I was paying attention to was the penalties. So Detroit has been scoring most of their goals in the power play. They have a really lethal power play, and our penalty kill has been really good, but we have been allowing a lot of penalties, right? I think we're the worst team in the league in terms of shorthanded minutes. So, like, if they score at a, 25% rate, even if our penalty kill is really good, say that's going to be, 5%. If we still allow multiple penalties, they're going to score at some point, right? So they know that. So I was wondering if they were going to try to focus on taking less penalties. You know, we're still a very young team. Usually with young teams, what I've heard is that discipline and consistency are very hard. The consistency has been there. The discipline used to be there. We've been taking more and more penalties lately. So yeah, those were the 3 big things that I was paying attention to for this game. And the defensive side, I think we allowed 17 shots in the first period, and we got 4. A lot of those were from the outside, but a lot of those were dangerous chances. Two of them do go in. Slav was fairly invisible. Our whole first line was fairly invisible. I think this was one of the worst games from Suzuki for the last month and a half or so. It's funny because I browse the Habs Reddit a lot, and I read a lot of comments. That's how I've been learning and how I've been like gathering information for the last few years on the team and how to understand hockey a little bit more. And people are praising Suzuki, how he's our second best player in plus minus, and he only had 4 penalty minutes. I think he gets a penalty where Detroit actually scores on, and then he was in the ice for the first goal, for the shorthanded goal, and was in the penalty box for the fourth one. So not a good game by Suzuki. Caulfield had a good chances here and there. Caulfield had more chances when he was replacing Peseta in the fourth line, actually, because our fourth line, when Armia and Evans were against their matchup, but without Peseta, they were rolling. I don't know what the deal is there. Apparently, it's just no synergy between those two and Peseta. Peseta gets to play until the last bit of the second period. In my voice memos for the game, I'm like, oh, Peseta is still out there late in the second, and their next shift he's not there. He's replaced by, I think, was Suzuki at the time, and he doesn't see the ice, I don't think, at all during the third. So yeah, there's still some lack of depth they're showing. We're, like I said before, we're still a young team. A lack of depth is to be expected, but it shows. Without Heinemann, someone in our fourth line, we already have a line that's struggling. I don't even want to think what would happen if one of our main guys goes down for a little bit, who replaces him? We have nobody. We can't even call someone to replace someone in the fourth line. See what I mean? Like, I know we have a lot of prospects in Laval, and fourth line minutes are not very nice to give to a prospect when they want to develop. So that, I think that's why they sent back down, because he was not going to play meaningful minutes. Whereas in Laval, he's getting a lot of minutes, so he's improving and developing, right? When I guess you need to prioritize development over everything else for the young prospects. But who do we call up? Say, I don't know. God, I don't want this to happen, knock on wood, but say Newhook goes down. Say Caulfield goes down a week, or Slav goes down a week. What rosters move do we make to fill that spot? We're very shallow. We don't have a lot of depth, and it's showing. Hopefully Heinemann comes back soon, because I hope he returns to the pace that he was having, because that fourth line was so powerful, and he was injecting a lot of energy. And since he went down, our defensive struggles go before Heinemann, so he's not going to fix any of that. But the team misses him. And yeah, he plays a very important role in that fourth line. So yeah, we didn't see a lot of Slav. A few passes here and there, 1 or 2 scoring chances, but yeah, overall that first line was really invisible. When our first line is rolling, when they're playing well, they keep possession in the O zone a lot, and that they get 1 or 2 scoring chances. Overall, in yesterday's game, the Habs did not keep O zone possession. The Red Wings were really good at getting the puck, getting it out of their zone fast, and pushing us into our own zone, which made it really uncomfortable for a lot of our forwards that rely more on possession to create offensive. Our second line, who I think are very explosive and they don't need that much possession, they create their chances on their first push, was really good yesterday. Actually, they were the best offensive line. I think Martin started the second line in the third period. We're down 2, and he starts that line as give us some offensive side. Let's start the period with a good note. And they do. They actually do get a few chances early on the third. Obviously, we didn't score at all. Nobody scored during the third. But yeah, our second line was one of our best lines out there tonight. I don't know if it was that Detroit really got to shut down our first line again. Tampa had shut them down, so it's been a few games now that our first line has been underperforming. I don't know if it's due to the opposition knowing how to play them, or if it has been them not playing up to their level, up to the skill that they have, right? So that's what I saw. And the third point that I had mentioned, penalties. we get 4 penalties. A few of them are dumb. A few of them I saw there were soft calls. Like the interference on Hudson at the end kind of killed the any momentum we had going on the third. Yes, it's interference. They don't call that half the time. I don't know. Anyways, but we do give them 4 power plays, and they score on 1. Larkin just gets lost. Matheson slides out, and Larkin just puts it in past Monty. I don't think Matheson had a good game. I know a lot of people are very critical of Matheson. I think he's playing a very difficult role for him, especially when paired with the rookie Hudson. So he's giving a lot of the responsibilities, the offensive responsibilities, to Hudson, but he's been having to fill all the defensive holes for Hudson, right? So whenever Hudson pushes, whenever Hudson does anything, Matheson needs to be the responsible guy that covers for him, right? And he gets beat on the first goal. He loses his man. I think that was Matheson's guy who gets lost and scores. On the third goal, the power play goal for that's the fourth goal. The power play goal for Detroit. Matheson slides out a little too much. It gives the whole space for Larkin to just walk in on mountain ball. So just 2 goals, but overall the whole defensive side and even a little bit of the offense was not there for Matheson again. I know he's going to pick it up again. He's one of our veteran guys, right? So we expect him to perform and keep up the energy, keep up the play to like motivate our rookies, show the way for our rookies, right? So yeah, hopefully he can come back soon. We play again on Saturday, which is going to be a very every game, like I said last video, is a do or die. So now that we lost against Detroit, thankfully none of our other Eastern rivals won. I think the Bruins beat the Senators, but one of them was going to get a point. It didn't go to OT, so we're still there. Yes, I've been looking at every team, which is really fun in a way. Last year at this point in the year, I was there in Tankathon just like rolling, see how many times I could get first overall pick. This time of the year, I'm looking at all the scores for all the teams in our conference to see who gets the wild card. Hoping that they lose. Freaking Leafs, they don't give us anything, and they lose against the Columbus on Wednesday. So Columbus takes the wild card spot that we had just sniffed after winning on Tuesday. So again, I think we're out of the playoff for now. So losing against Detroit, rough. It was one of the easier matchups that we have for the rest of January, and they completely outworked us. We're not going to win all. I know there are a few games they're going to lose. I'm worried about the defensive trend. I think they need to tighten up again. They need to figure out if the opposition figured out how to play against whatever defense the Habs we're putting out there. That's been plaguing us for a few games already, and we've been chasing the games the whole time. You're not gonna win all the games that we're chasing. We're chasing the game against New York on Sunday, the whole game. We win in OT. We're chasing the game against Tampa, pretty much the full game. We win. We score the game-winning goal with 2 minutes left, right? So we've been chasing the games. I want to see the Habs get a lead and hold that lead. We got the lead against the Leafs on Saturday last week, and we couldn't hold to a 3-goal lead. Other than that, we've been playing from behind pretty much a full month. So I don't know, or I don't feel confident in the ability for the Habs to play with the lead, to keep a lead, right? They showed it in the Florida road trip. Since then, we've been playing from behind 75-80% of the time. So it's been rough, and hopefully against New Jersey, they don't have Markstrom on Saturday, so I think they're gonna put Allen. out there. Hopefully we can get an early lead and see what we can do with it. See how our game adapts. See if we can lock on defense, because you can give them an excuse, since we've been playing from behind, that the defense has to be a little bit more aggressive to get the scoring chance to try to even out the game, right? So you can argue like, oh, our defense hasn't been too tight because we've been playing from behind. We've been trying to, we've been investing more in offense and giving them up a little bit of defense. I don't know if that's something you can actually argue in favor of, but hopefully we get a lead soon, and we can keep it, play with the lead, tighten up defensively, see what we do. I don't know who starts on Saturday. Dobish. I thought Dobish was gonna start yesterday against Detroit, since we had played Monty on Tuesday. We start Monty. I don't know who gets the Saturday one. If it's Monty again, it's gonna be 3 in a row, right? Yeah, I know he has the benefit of being the veteran guy. The guy has been with the team for a few years now. That he has battled. He has shown the team that he's there, that he's their goalie. So obviously he gets that benefit. But Dobish also has the benefit of winning 5 in a row and being the hot goalie, and like everybody's talking about him and all that. So how do you balance that? I don't know. We'll see who we get. A few more things I wanted to mention about the game before I start wrapping up. I mentioned the second line being good. I mentioned Matheson struggling. Alex Carey, he had a really good game. I think he was very sound defensively, and he was contributing there in offense a lot. He got stuck there playing wing or center a few times. It was fun to see, just him battling on the boards. So I was like, that's their net? Why is Carey like there on the boards just battling for possession? It was different, He gets to switch with Suzuki after. It's fun to see when. It's fun to try to identify like, oh, we have one of our defense stuck in the end of their zone, right? Stuck deep in their zone. When is it the right time for the defense to switch with our forward that's covering for them, right? So it was fun to recognize what was happening. Fun to recognize like, okay, now maybe they can switch, and they do it immediately. So. Carry a good game defensively. He absorbs hits like crazy. He seems to get hit and heavily so many times, but he positions himself really well to absorb the hit. And even though it looks like a massive hit, he's just there, like he keeps on skating, right? Really good sticks, really good offensive contributions by him. So yeah, it's been massive since getting him. He was our best defense out there today, I think. Hudson Matheson didn't have a good game. Gouldy was actually not so good defensively. Obviously he gets the goal, so that's nice for him. But he got walked on a few times by Raymond, who, kudos to him. Raymond played really well. He digged Montembeault. I have never seen one of our goalies get digged so badly. I think it was between the screen of Savard and whatever movements Raymond did with his stick, but Monty just completely goes the other way, which leaves the Brincat open. He gets the easiest shot of his life, because Monty just it's looking and his body is completely the other way. I had never seen that happen before, like that badly with that much time. That goal was very rough. They say the first shift of the period and the last shift of the period are one of the most important shifts in the game, right? 3 times in the game. And Detroit has a power play with a few minutes to go, and we killed that power play with our really good penalty kill. 2 seconds left in the period, and that happens, the Brincat goal, to send us down the tunnel with down by 2. Unfortunate, I don't think. I mean, obviously it could have played out differently. It was just very unfortunate. It kills the mood. You go into the locker room feeling bad about yourself. Obviously, they got outshot heavily during the first, so they're going to go down the tunnel feeling bad anyways, but being down by 1 is a lot different than being outshot, outplayed, and just being down... Sorry. Being outshot and outplayed and being down by 1 is a lot differently than all that, but being down by 2. So, not great, obviously. They've come down from 2 before. They've done it, so they had a lot of time left. And they do push a lot more during the second, especially during the second half of the second period, and during the whole third. We were pushing, we were getting our chances. Caulfield gets lost a few times in the slot for really high danger opportunities. He does not convert. It's been now, I think, 3 games without Caulfield scoring. He has been getting shots. A lot of his shots are from the outside though, but he got a few very dangerous shots out there. Didn't go in, so I don't know if he's a little bit snake bitten or something, but hopefully he can recover fast. You know, he's our top goal scorer and we need him to score, and we need our first line rolling, and Caulfield is a huge part of that, right? So sad that he didn't score on his few chances. Newhook has been playing really, really well. Like I gave kudos to that second line. Laine, you know, he's very good offensively. He does this like stick handling that looks really slow, but works for some reason. But Newhook, he has been getting lost in the slot and getting shots off, like how he scored against Tampa. He had very like 1 or 2 very similar chances in yesterday's game. So yeah, he's been playing fast. He's been playing well. It's been good seeing Newhook and that whole line rolling. What else was I gonna mention? We iced the puck so many times during the first period. I don't know what was going on, but I noticed it was 3 or 4 times during the first period alone that we iced the puck. I don't know if it was like a defensive decision because they were pushing us in our zone and we just needed a little reset. You know, sometimes it's good to ice the puck if your goal is missing a stick, or like your defense shattered their stick, or you're just like in a really bad situation and you lost your defensive coverage. Sure, ice it, reset, you know. But 4 times during the first period, when you're getting outshot like that, I don't know. Not great. I also saw during the first and a little bit during the second that we were giving a lot of odd man rushes. I don't think they scored on an odd man rush actually, but we gave them so many opportunities. It felt like our forwards were getting stuck in their zone. Our forwards were going in deep to try to retrieve the puck, and the Red Wings were really good at getting the puck out fast the other way and sending their 3 forwards against their 2 defense. I saw that happening at least 3 or 4 times too. Like I said, I don't think they scored from that, but it was a recurring theme. So I don't know how the Habs adjust in the future to play against that style of game when they just are able to get the puck out fast. I was very critical of the third line last game. Anderson has been really good. I think he was really good today again. I didn't see much of Dvorak or Gallagher. Dvorak was good defensively. Yeah. I mentioned how frustrating it was to kill the power play, and then the Detroit scores with 2 seconds left, and just have a few more points. I know I started writing down my points to keep a little bit more of a structure of these videos instead of just like whatever comes to my mind. So before the video, whatever comes to my mind, I do write it down and try to keep a little bit more structure, see if it works. I also made a few adjustments to the mic. Some filters to try and have it be a little bit as higher quality. So hopefully let me know how that sounds if you give me any feedback. The last point I have here is that once again we're playing from behind, and we're not gonna come back from all of those. We're gonna lose some. Anyways, I'm not gonna be too critical. Like I said, I am worried about the defense. We need to improve that at some point soon. It might be that the players are just really tired. Can be, like it's a very young team, so maybe their whole movements is not very optimized, and they move a lot more than the other teams, and then we're playing with a lot of energy the last month and a half or 2 months. I don't know if they're able to keep that pace. which makes me want the Four Nations to come soon. I know it is like there's only like 8 games before that or something, but our guys need that rest, need that week, I think, or a week and a half. I have only Mountain Ball from the Habs is going to that to that tournament, and there's 3 goalies, so I don't know how much Monty is gonna play. But yeah, the Habs, I think, can use that rest. So hopefully we have a good game against New Jersey tomorrow, Saturday, 7 p.m. in Montreal. We'll see who gets the start. I'm hoping it's Dabish, so because Monty got 2 in a row. Hopefully Dabish can keep on rolling. Yeah, we need to win that one if we want to keep up there. Otherwise, there's like 3 teams sniffing us on the back. Really, really close. It's really fun though. This whole thing, the Habs playing well, us talking about this, us. I know I'm not the only one looking at the standings every day, looking at every game. We haven't had this in 2 or 3 years, right? So anyway, the Habs play this season has already been really fun. Has already succeeded. Not succeeded. Has already surpassed all the expectations we could have had. But now that we've had a taste of the good things, obviously you want to keep having them, right? So hopefully the Habs are able to keep giving us that. It was a fun game in Detroit, even though we were heavily outscored the first. I still had fun watching it. I know a lot of people are saying it was a really bad game, like erase it, whatever, go to the next. I still enjoyed it. Hopefully it's another good game on Saturday. We'll see you there. Go Habs go! And thanks for all the views and the positive feedback. See you soon.